Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I am here with my Spookathon reading vlog. It's going to be a week-long reading vlog. Let's jump right into it. Today is the first day of Spookathon. It is Monday the 14th and I have finished 2 books since I wrapped up my October mid-month wrap-up that I've already posted. So I'm going to talk about the 2 books that I've already finished. Today I actually finished the audiobook of This Darkness Mine by Mindy McGinnis. Man, this woman's brain. I don't even know, but I love her work. I love all of her work. It is dark, it is twisted. There's always a psychological aspect that I really, really like. I super vibe with her writing. This one I think I'm going to go ahead and give 4 stars to. It's not perfection, but it's pretty dang good. And it's really dark, really creepy, gory. There's a lot of like health related body gore, heart problem, like surgery, surgical scars, self-harm. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this one. I have an audiobook for Heroin by Mindy McGinnis, which is about an opioid addiction. I really want to get to that. I don't know if that's going to happen during Spookathon or not, but this was a 4-star read, and I finished about 28% of that this morning. It's 9:30 now, but I finished about the last 28% of this morning, and I really, really enjoyed it. That was not on my original TBR. I also have My Dark Vanessa, which I have already started. It is severely messed up. My Dark Vanessa is by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I'm on page 130 and I am slowly making my way through this. I do have it tabbed, but it is really disturbing to read. It is about a girl who had an affair with her teacher, who I believe was in his 30s to 40s when she was 15 to 17. It's disturbing. She's now 32 and somebody else came forward and accused the teacher of sexual abuse and assault, and they're asking her to come forward now. I'm really waiting for the point where she makes a switch and realizes how wrong the relationship was between her and the teacher. It's kind of like a split timeline between when she was younger and now as an adult. And there's a lot of sexual activity with her as a minor with this man. And you have her as an adult looking back on it and remembering it very fondly and thinking there was nothing wrong with it. And then you have her as a kid. You see the language she uses with him and you see her hesitance and you see him manipulating her and grooming her and forcing her and exerting his power over her as a teacher, and how wrong it is and how uncomfortable she is in the moment, but then as an adult, how she's tried to make it okay so that she doesn't have to cope with that. And I'm waiting for it to kind of stop sexualizing the relationship in an okay way, because it's really disturbing to read. If I'm going to read something like this, I want it to have that psychological aspect. I really enjoyed that in a book. This Darkness Mine had a lot of that as well. I think I'm going to start with The Hollow Girl by Hilary Monahan, because I do think it's going to be an easy read. Last night after midnight, I did finish Teeth in the Mist by Dawn Kurtikich, and this is so deeply messed up. I'm not counting this for my wrap-up for Spookathon, but I do think it's super, super spooky, so maybe it fits for this. I have a whole bunch of tabs. This one follows a girl who goes to see an old mill house on a hill that has this lore and this haunting behind it. It's about a man who made a deal with the devil, and then decades and decades and centuries later, he's still around and the evil is still around. It very much discusses the devil and demons and demonology and possession and witchcraft / demon working, and there's a lot of blood magic in this. There's a lot of self-harm, a lot of cutting, a lot of body gore, sexual assault in, you know, a demonic possession kind of a situation. There's representation of miscarriages and stillborn babies and demonic matings. It's intense. It's intense. There's also a twist at the end of this that becomes a different kind of paranormal and supernatural. There's also a twist at the end of this that involves a situation that I am not okay with, but I really can't talk about it without giving away spoilers, so I don't want to do that. There was also abuse by a parent, physical abuse, there's torture, branding, like a lot. I mean, this is not an easy book to read. I think that this is almost a combination of House of Leaves. It's like YA House of Leaves, because this situation, this house that they're in, is very twisted and dark. This beast that they're kind of following is very twisted and dark. It feels very House of Leaves-ish, but then there's this exorcism, like, demon aspect of it as well. But there's definitely parts of this that I think relate to House of Leaves. There's strange wording on pages, there are black pages, there are mixed media, there's, you know, things in here that are very reminiscent of the way that Daniel Lewski writes, and then things in here that are entirely its own, but this is not for the faint of heart. I'm still giving it 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed it, but it's disturbing and twisted and kind of gross. This is intense for a YA, which I believe it is still shelved as a YA, and it's incredibly dark and twisted. I'll check in when I have something else to talk to you about, but right now I haven't really read a ton. Hi friends, it is Julie. It is 9 o'clock at night on Monday, the first day of Spookathon, and I have an update for you. I've not finished anything, but I have gotten further in Small Spaces. I'm on page 160, and I think there's only like 220 pages, so I'm very close to the end. I should probably finish this tonight. I'll probably just read the last couple of pages, and then tomorrow start Tunnel of Bones. I also made it a little further in My Dark Vanessa today, and I got to page 234, right about there. Still super messed up. I didn't get very much further at all in The Hollow Girl. I don't know where I was last time, but I'm on page 46. So not very far, only on chapter 5. So this one, I will physically read a whole lot more once I'm done My Dark Vanessa. And then I think I'm going to start Lock Every Door because it's my longest one. These are the 3 books that I'm currently reading. And that is my progress in all 3 of those books. That's my update. It is Tuesday, aka day 2 of Spookathon, and I finished a book. I finished Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, which I'm not surprised by because I think I was at 79% last night, and I finished this really quickly on my way back from work today. I didn't love this as much as I anticipated loving it. I think other people definitely liked it a whole lot more than I did, but I did go ahead and give it 4 stars. I do think it handles grief and friendship and loss really well, depression. I think it handles it in a way that maybe kids can understand, but I think it handles it in a way that's so veiled they wouldn't know they were learning it, if that makes any sense. I liked it. The writing was good, but I'm not a middle grader, so that's fine. I am starting Tunnel of Bones on audiobook. I have that on Hoopla, so I can listen to that at like faster than 2 speed, which I appreciate. 2 speed for Small Spaces was a little slow for me. I do have the physical copy, it's just over on my TBR cart. I don't feel like grabbing it. On my break, I'm going to read a little bit more of The Hollow Girl because I want to try to finish that if I can in the next day. And then My Dark Vanessa, I will be taking to work. I do have to take the oldest to swim, and I'll have about an hour there where I can read. So I'm hoping to maybe knock that out. But tonight's going to be writing again, so we're just going to see what I can kind of get through. It is Wednesday, day 3 of Spookathon. I have finished another book. It is just shy of 9 o'clock in the morning. It is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I'm so torn on this book. I was really leaning towards 3 stars. And then I went 4 stars on Goodreads. I think I've already discussed this, but at 15 is having an affair with her adult teacher. The grooming and the discussions that go on are really disturbing. And I was waiting for a shift and waiting for a shift and waiting for a shift, and it never kind of came. But that's on me. Like, it's uncomfortable, but I know that it was a choice by the author. It shows a different side of being a victim of sexual abuse. It definitely shows the side of like the psychological torment that goes into it to the point where you don't even think you're a victim. I know that that has to happen out there. So this is not the Me Too movement, like stand up, take justice, demand retribution. This is the psychologically broken and traumatized. For so long she was told you can't tell, you know, it'll ruin your life. To the point where she's convinced herself it was consensual and something she wanted and something that she encouraged, because to admit anything else is to admit serious trauma. And like, it's heartbreaking. So even though it was really uncomfortable for me to read, that's 100% the point. And it was really impactful. I just found that there were certain parts of this that didn't quite resonate and weave together the way that I wanted it to, especially the parent relationships with the main character. But again, I know that this story is out there. I know it's real. I know it's completely valid. I think I had a little bit of a preconceived notion of what it might be before I went into it, which is why I adjusted my rating and I gave it 4 stars. Not an easy read at all, but I'm really glad I read it. This one is out in January of 2020, and I know this is one people are going to be talking about. Now, at this point, small check-in, I have This Darkness Mine, My Dark Vanessa, Small Spaces, and Tunnel of Bones. I think I've technically covered every single challenge. I'm not done reading, obviously. I'm going to continue to read The Hollow Girl, and then I'm going to pick up Lock Every Door today as another one of my physical reads. I am almost done at this point. In the Shadow of the Spindrift House, I have an hour left and 3 hours down. So it's a really short audiobook. This is absolutely a spooky setting. This house is not okay. I also want to know what is going on in Myra Grant's head, because this is very much centered around the ocean. Again, it's like giving me Into the Drowning Deep-esque vibes. I'm pretty sure this is a 2019 release, which means it's newer. Something happened with her in the sea, man. I don't know. But you can even tell on the cover there's like octopus tentacles growing up. The ebook cover, because I do have the ebook, is like a girl going into this house, and then underneath are all these like tentacles and things coming up and like wrapping around her. The ocean plays heavily into this book, and her in the ocean, man, she writes it in a way that's just terrifying. I'm really happy with all of my reads. They're all dark, they're all twisted, they're all really cool. I'll talk to you later. Quick check-in. Since the last time we talked, I did finish My Dark Vanessa that we already spoke about. I also finished In the Shadow of the Spindrift House by Myra Grant. Again, I don't know who hurt her, but it's intense. I read 75 pages of Lock Every Door. I read 104 pages of The Hollow Girl, and I started a new audiobook called Bury Me by Tara Civic. It was a recommendation from you guys on Twitter, which is fantastic. I don't know anything about it because I'm literally 20 minutes in. It's only 6 hours and 36 minutes though, so it should be a relatively easy audiobook. I also have Beartown, Heroine, and Birthday. I don't think Birthday fits. Heroine would, but I really think I want to physically read it, so I started the audio of Beartown on Overdrive. I gave 4 stars to In the Spirit of the Spindrift House, 4 stars to My Dark Vanessa, 4 stars to Small Spaces, 5 stars to Tunnel of Bones. I gave 4 stars to Teeth in the Mist, and 4 stars to This Darkness Mine. So like all really good ratings so far. Let's cross our fingers that it keeps up. So far, Lock Every Door, 75 pages in. I'm intrigued. Like the way that it starts and then backtracks and you're like, how did we get here? And how did we get here only like in 5 days? We escalate that much. Like I can't wait to find out what happens. That's my reading update for right now for the afternoon. 70 pages while at work, 75 pages while at work, not too bad. And I'm gonna go work on some book stuff now and touch base with you guys later. It's Thursday at 2:20 and I'm getting ready to head back to work, and then I am at work tonight until like after 9 o'clock. So I will not be working on the book today. I will just be reading. So whatever reading time I get during the day, I will update you with either later tonight or tomorrow morning. Last night, I actually didn't read any more of like a physical like novel, but I did read a graphic novel. I started Hexed, which is an omnibus that is, it's something, man. But this follows Lucy, who is called Lucifer, and she's a supernatural thief. It is a strong female lead that rivals the likes of Buffy and Wonder Woman. She's pretty strong so far. She went swimming in a man's corpse. I don't understand it, but I'm here for it so far. About an hour and 15 minutes into Bury Me by Tara Civic. I've got about 5 hours left, and I don't quite understand it just yet. It's about a girl who wakes up from like a couple days of a coma, and everything that people are telling her she is and does and likes doesn't feel right to her. We're gonna see what that's all about. And then I did continue to read The Hollow Girl today. I am a good bit further in than I was last time. On page 150. So maybe not a ton, because I think I was on page 104. But I did read a little bit, and I don't have to go back to work for like another 20-ish minutes, so I'm going to keep reading. It is difficult so far. It's definitely dark, but this is following like a sexual assault and rape, and it is, I mean, it was on page, but it wasn't like described on page. I mean, still, like, it's intense. I do like the writing. I do like the style. I do like the story so far. So we're going to see where it goes. And that's my update for right now. I haven't read any more of Lock Every Door, but that is the book that I will be taking to work. So when I work late tonight, the kids actually go to bed and I still hang out at the house. I'll have some reading time tonight while they're sleeping. We're making progress. That's gonna be it for this one. I'm here with a reading update. I feel like every time you see me, I'm in the same outfit. It's because I usually wear this tank top underneath all of my other sweaters and things, just because you're a nanny. And as you bend over and move, skin shows, the boobs show. You know, I wear other clothes, guys. Anyway, I was importing all of my footage for my vlog and realized that one of the videos got corrupted. So I wanted to talk to you about Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab, which I finished on Tuesday. It is now Thursday at noon. But I did finish this all entirely on my break from work on Tuesday in audiobook, even though I do have the physical book. And I really enjoyed it. I 5-starred it. I really enjoyed this series. I like the character. I like the friendship with Jacob. I like that the stakes are high for a middle grade. I don't read a ton of middle grade, so when I do, I want it to really stand out. And this story for me, the characters for me, the stakes in this one stood out to me a little bit more than Small Spaces. So I 5-starred this one. I believe I 4-starred Small Spaces. As opposed to Small Spaces, which was a little bit more younger middle grade, this felt a little bit more like genuinely freaky. Super excited to continue with the series, even though I know it'll probably take a while to continue with that. Made a little bit more progress in The Hollow Girl. And I also wanted to point out, Chelsea put in my comments, which I respond to all my comments, she put in my comments that Hilary Monahan is the actual writing name that Thea DeSalle, who wrote The King of Bourbon Street, it's the same person. This is what she normally writes under. So I'm really excited to kind of get into this further, finish this, and see what I think about this work from her. So far, I really like it. It's very dark. It's very hard to read, but I do really, really enjoy it. I have read a little bit more of the Hexed Omnibus. I got another 2 issues in, but like, she chunky. It's like a 400-page book, and I'm here. So we'll see. I do plan to hopefully continue with that. Bury Me by Tara Civic. And that one I gave 5 stars. It is dark. There are trigger warnings for suicide, for abuse, torture, psychological torture, medical testing, murder, psychosis, and different mental illnesses. I never read anything by her. It was a great recommendation from Twitter, so thank you for that. I did really, really like it. I have to update that on Goodreads, actually. Tomorrow, I have my Hocus Pocus day with my sisters. We do it every year right around Halloween. We go over there, we do like food and drinks and hang out with the nieces and nephews. We watch Hocus Pocus. Wanted to update you guys on some reading for my Spookathon. I finally finished The Hollow Girl by Hilary Monahan, and I 5-starred this. It was a very easy 5-star. This is incredibly dark. It does handle the aftermath of a sexual assault and a rape, and how the men who were involved in it suffer afterwards at the hands of a witch. And it was dark. It was beautiful revenge, but also difficult to read at times. It's definitely graphic. Not in terms of the rape itself, but in terms of like the revenge and the spell that's needed to bring back to life somebody who was injured in the assault as well. 5-star, and I will be looking for more from her for sure. Page 201, chapter 28, I would say I'm probably halfway through, if not a little bit past halfway. I do think it's a fast read. I just haven't had a ton of time to actively read it. So I'm hoping to now focus on that and the graphic novel and then come tumbling down if I can. We will see what I can get through, because I do have a busier weekend and I am writing tonight, 8 o'clock at night on Saturday. And I don't know, I'm hoping to still finish another book for my Spookathon. I'm still hoping to finish the graphic novel. I may start Come Tumbling Down, but I did officially finish Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, which I do have a couple tabs in and some annotations. This is a signed and personalized arc, so I knew I was going to be keeping it. So I went ahead and tabbed and annotated this bad boy up. I don't know how I feel about it. I think I'm going to go 3 stars on Goodreads, but like make a little note that it might be a 3.5 star. maybe it is a 3. Underwhelming for what it was. I don't know, like a weird part of me was hoping for some kind of like a paranormal twist. I was fascinated by like George the gargoyle in this, but then like he didn't play in nearly as much as I wanted him to. There were all these different facets of the story that never quite came together the way that I hoped that they would. It was perfectly fine. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't horrible. It was an average read, but it was probably my least favorite of all the things that I've read for this readathon so far. And I've read a lot. And also, this is the book that was voted on by my Patreons for the readathon. This is the book they wanted me to add in. So I'm glad I got to it finally, even though it's backlist. I actually have been really tempted to start this because Hilary Monahan, who wrote The Lost Girl, has a story in this. It is Sunday at 10:45, and I wanted to update you on a little bit of reading that I started for Spookathon, or did for Spookathon. I did last night start a little bit of Come Tumbling Down. I do have a couple of tabs in there. I didn't get that far. I'm on page 41. Don't want to necessarily rush through this. So then this morning I woke up and I was like, I'm kind of in the mood to keep up with Hexed. This is so dark. It's really, really cool though. It's about a supernatural thief, and there's like an art gallery and the people that she's involved with. There's an intern at the art gallery who's a necromancer. She's like the heir to a secret keeper who's super sketchy. Like think of the spider lady from Saga and then like make her scarier. That's who she's the heir to. It's really, really neat. It's really gory, but it's really cool. About halfway through, and like I said, it's like a 400-page graphic novel. I don't have page numbers in this. I think I'll be able to finish this, and I'm really, really enjoying it, and it was definitely calling to me. I don't think I'm gonna push to finish this one before the readathon is over. Hi friends, I am back in my like black tank top looking like this is all I ever wear, but I wanted to update you for the last time on my Spookathon reading. I'm gonna open up my laptop right now and jump to my spreadsheet so that we can actually go over everything that I read this week. I've read a considerable amount of things during this particular readathon. We're going to go over all of them. But first, I did want to let you know that I did finish Hexed, the omnibus, and I'm going to go ahead and give it, I think I'm going to go 5 stars. Like, I actually really enjoyed the storyline of this. I enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed the character progression. I enjoy the art style. The art style is also really cool. There's this one feature in this where they're able to go in and out of paintings. And so as the characters go in and out of paintings, the art style changes with them. And it's really, really neat. Like, I love the art in this. It was a really cool premise. And it was really creepy, but I super, super enjoyed it. So I don't think that this would have ever come onto my radar at all had I not picked this up at ALA, but I'm really glad I did. Very cool. And I'm going to be looking out for more from these illustrators and writers because this one was really, really neat. The first thing that I technically finished was This Darkness Mine by Minnie McGinnis, which I am counting for one of my reads. Nailed it with a 4-star rating. Really, really liked it. Super awesome. It's dark, it's psychological, it's got her like weird twisted take on things, and I dig it. I just really like the way that she writes. We have Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. I did enjoy it. I didn't love it, so it was a 4-star. Scarecrows kind of coming to life weirdness, but really neat. I enjoyed it. It's a cute middle grade, and it was a quick audiobook read, and I'll be keeping it on my shelves. Then I read very quickly in one day, Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab, which I will also be keeping on my shelves. I really do love this book. I love this series. I love the way that it's growing. I love the way the characters are continuing to grow and their relationships with one another are starting to grow. I gave this 5 stars. Really, really loved it. And then I did finish My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I gave this one 4 stars, and it was really, really dark. We've talked about this one. It was really haunting, but really, really good, and I liked it a whole heckin' ton. The Hollow Girl by Hilary Monahan, which was amazing. I absolutely loved it. It's very feminist. It is a survivor's tale, very different than My Dark Vanessa, but still following sexual assault, rape. It's haunting, but like if you want one where a girl goes out for vengeance and gets it, this is a great one. Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and I gave this 3 stars. It was meh. It was perfectly okay, but it didn't take the turns I wanted it to take, and in the end, the whole plot twist, the whole like whodunit, it just did not excite me, so it was just average. And then I read Hexed Omnibus, which is by Michael Allen Nelson, Emma Royce, and Dan Mora. This is phenomenal. I 5-starred it. Really, really good. Really dark, but really, really good. I also read In the Shadow of the Spindrift House by Myra Grant, and I gave that one 4 stars. I read Bury Me by Tara Civic. I gave that 5 stars. Really twisted psychological tale. And I think that's everything. The other ones that I have on here are for my writing. So, all in all, that leads up to 9 books read. I did start Come Tumbling Down, but I did not finish it. But 9 books is impressive to me. 9 books in a week. Still pretty impressive. The middle grades definitely went faster. Let's go over my challenges. So for thriller, we can say it was Lock Every Door. Red on the cover, we'll go for The Hollow Girl. A spooky word on the cover, we can say it was Tunnel of Bones. For something I don't normally read, we can say that it was a middle grade, which I don't really read a ton of. Oh, Spooky Setting. Spooky Setting could be any of them, but we could definitely go with this. This is in a world where like demons are super crazy real, but Hex could also be a dark word, and then Tunnel of Bones could be my Spooky Setting. Either way, it works. And then I have extras in My Dark Vanessa, This Darkness Mine, the Spooky Setting. This Shadow of the Spindrift House was a super spooky setting. Bury Me was just dark in general. Bury Me is also a spooky word. Like, I don't want to get buried at all. Finished all of the challenges, read 9 books, all while plotting a novel and writing. So I'm actually really, really impressed with how much I read. I had a great time reading all of this, to be absolutely honest. And I do have some readathons planned coming up before the end of the year, which I'm all really excited about. So that's going to be it for this particular wrap up and for this readathon. I hope you guys have enjoyed coming with me along the way. I had an amazing week of reading. The lowest rating that I had was the 3-star read. Lock Every Door was my lowest rated. I consider that a success when I don't really read a ton of thrillers. Thank you to Kayla for hosting. I enjoy this one because it's reading that I do this month anyway. So loved taking part in it, had an absolute blast. Hope you guys have enjoyed the vlog. Let me know down below if you participated, and if so, what your favorite spooky read of the readathon was, or just this month so far. Leave it in a comment and let me know. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye guys.